Vermont has a tradition of producing the best quality food products. We're very proud of that tradition. We're proud of the place we live, the green mountains, the clean air, fresh water. Our lamb is the finest quality, and our wool is the best to be found anywhere. A century ago, Vermont had the finest quality of sheep in the world, and many of our sheep went all around the world to start up the sheep industries on other continents. Ward Knapp was given his first lamb not long after that, as a little boy on his family farm in Vermont more than 90 years ago.
I had this nice flock to, just to show them or see what they tell people how the old Dorsets were, and how my grandparents had the first flock in Washington County. They were nice because I'd sorted them, don't you know. But everybody had a few sheep for for their own wool, and give the old ladies a chance to sit and rock and knit, the whole family. I want my mittens next. At one time there was an awful lot of sheep in Vermont, don't you? An awful lot. Well, it might have had a reputation because they tried to raise them a little better than the other fella, so.
We know that in the mid-19th century there were over 1 million sheep in Vermont. I've even heard 1.5 million. To put that in perspective, in the whole U.S. today, there are roughly 10 million sheep. But it was a completely different industry. These were, for the most part, merino and other fine-wooled sheep, a much smaller animal, maybe 70 pounds mature, producing 17, 18, 24 pounds of wool per year. And it was a fiber-based industry. When Western rangeland opened first in North America and then eventually in places like Australia, New Zealand, it was no longer efficient to produce wool in a place like Vermont where real estate became scarcer and dearer. And so a gradual transition to dairy farming occurred around the beginning of the 20th century. During that transition, Vermont farmers owned the finest breeding stock for fine wool production in the world. And so breeding rams were sold to Australian sheep ranchers just getting into the business for tremendous sums. There are entire houses built from the proceeds of individual ram sales in this county. But by about 1910, we were out of the sheep business and into the dairy business.
Sheep have come back into playing a very vital role in Vermont farming only recently. Once again, sheep are chewing down the brush and keeping the land open, providing a living and a way of life for both part and our full-time farmers. At our fairs and auctions, and indeed our farms, you can see some of the nation's top breeding stock.
You know, there's great things, big things happening in the state of Vermont in the sheep industry.
Following the tradition of the 1800s, once again our choice rams and our choice ewes and lambs graze the hills and valleys of our Green Mountain state. It's an ideal place for raising sheep.
Today, Vermont lamb and wool is the best that can be obtained. We grow it with the most pride and with the most natural conditions to make it very special.
Sheep farming is both difficult and easy, and I think when you're really working with the sheep, i.e. during lambing, or you have to do foot trimming or shearing, there's a lot of time involved, so it's hard work then. But there are other times of the year that they're out on pasture and it's just very calm and peaceful.
There's so much involved with raising sheep and keeping them well fed. It starts in the spring when you have to get into the mud, get your fences ready. Fences are critical to raising sheep, both to keep them in where they should be, as well as to keep predators out. That spring season is the best time of year to get the sheep out to pasture, and we're very proud of our green pastures here in Vermont. In summer, it's a breakneck pace to get hay in. We have a lot of rain and it's cool, and it's very difficult to make hay up here in the North Country. All summer long, making hay, plowing, maybe reseeding a field, and it goes on every single year, but it's always an opportunity to put up something better for the animals, doing better job this year than you did last. In the autumn, we have to bring them back from pasture, and we start a whole series of wintertime chores. And of course, then we have this long winter feeding period when we still have to maintain the health of the animals regardless of the weather conditions.
But sheep turn out to be also an extremely efficient meat production animal. It's not uncommon for a good sheep in her prime, a ewe who weighs 130 pounds, to wean 2 50 or 60-pound lambs per year. So she's weaning between 3/4 and even in some cases 100% of her own body weight, and she can accomplish that on grass if the management calendar allows her to have her lambs in the early spring when we have the first flush of tremendous quality forage.
Our lamb crop is what is extremely important, and we look for a healthy lamb crop, and if you can't have a healthy lamb crop if you don't have healthy ewes to start with. So our foundation flock is the most important thing to go into producing that wonderful Vermont lamb that we do produce. The ewes that are ready to lamb are in the barn. We're there 24 hours a day, checking on the ewes to make sure that when the ewe lambs there are no problems in delivery, to make sure that they're healthy and they're on their feet and nursing very quickly.
I think one of the favorite times for many people raising sheep is spring. That's a sign of life, a sign when we have lambs on the ground, potential for our income, and it's just a great awakening. New life out there in the fields, as well as hearing the happy sounds from a lot of lambs running around. Sheep are a dual-purpose animal. They produce lamb and they produce wool. On our farm, we concentrate on producing lamb. And so we've geared our breeds and our management to producing the best lamb that we know how. The wool is also an important product for us, and we try to keep it clean year-round and market it the best way that we know. Harvesting the wool is almost a community affair. We find it's one of the happiest times because it buzzes along at a fast pace. We know we're doing a good job taking the wool off and keeping it clean, and we find that all of the activity is just the same as the feeling when you harvest a crop of pumpkins in the fall.
Some of the finest Vermont wool is sold directly to the hand spinners and to the spinnery. But a lot of it is brought to the annual wool pool. And that's where the state shepherds get together in the autumn, and they work together and gather and sell their wool harvests in both large and small quantities.
Along with raising lamb and wool, some shepherds prepare specialty foods, which always attract attention at food festivals and trade shows.
Our specialty lamb products consist of 2 country-style pâtés, a creamy-style pâté, 2 smoked leg of lamb products, and 2 gourmet lamb sausages, which we then again distribute ourselves nationwide.
The essence of our business here is the care that we can give to and the attention to quality, whether that's in the growing of the lamb, the care of the land here, or the production of our products.
My husband John and I developed lamb shish kebabs in Vermont. We decided to try marketing our lamb directly at fairs and festivals during the summer. And we thought that a shish kebab would be attractive and called them lamb kebabs. And the whole food concession based on our farm has grown in such popularity that we now operate 6 locations in Vermont ski areas. Vermont lamb particularly appeals to the sports-oriented people and those involved with physical fitness. We've also found that the Vermont lamb is becoming more and more popular because lamb itself is lower in fat, lower in cholesterol, and these are health-conscious days, and people are concerned about that.
My customers, when they come in looking for a lamb product, are looking for a fresh product that is relatively low in fat and always well trimmed. so they come to see me for Vermont Lamb. What makes this product so special is the growers, they give it so much care and so much love.
They're special. The people who are raising these sheep, we have a lot of small family farms, small family flocks, and the individualized attention that goes into these animals is amazing.
Since the Vermont lamb grazes in our beautiful hills on young grasses, it has a beautiful flavor, it is lean, and is suitable for an artistic plate cover. Here at the Top Notch, and indeed in many of the fine restaurants of Vermont, we are striving to use Vermont products, and especially Vermont lamb.
Vermont lamb is such a elegant and versatile meat, and certainly a meat that we use quite often here at Blueberry Hill, where the demand from the guests is high expectation. And whether it's at home or whether you go out, Vermont lamb is your special choice.
I think one way people can enjoy a slice of Vermont, and they tend to do that, is when they're back home, is to order that Vermont lamb dinner and then just sit down at a lovely meal and reminisce about all the good times I had in Vermont.
By and large, our sheep are raised on small farms. Most of the farms in Vermont are small. And those sheep produce lamb which is of the finest quality. It is lean, it is tender, it is young, and it's flavorful. And it's also a natural product. We haven't pampered it with a lot of chemicals. We haven't put in a lot of additives. We've just grown it the way we know how to do it, the way we've done it for many, many years. Very natural way, using our grass, using our hay, using the resources we have here in Vermont. Clean water, fresh air. We think this is going to be the very best lamb that you'll have, and we hope you'll try it soon.
Out unto the farmers who live among the hills, where every man's a sovereign and owns the land he tills, where all the girls are beautiful and all the boys are strong. Oh, it's my delight on a summer's night to sing the farmer's song. Is here the proud merinos of pure imported stock are often seen to range the green in many a noble flock. Their forms are large and beautiful, their wool is fine and long. Oh, it's my delight on a summer's night to sing the farmer's song. You have often heard the story of ancient Rome and Greece, of Jason's expedition to get the golden fleece. Vermont has stole the fleece away and took the sheep along. Oh, it's my delight on a summer's night to sing the farmer's song. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la.